And for us to start, we have to draft out our basic gown. So here on my paper, I've marked out the starting point, which is where all the measurements will be starting. And then I also measure out the total length of the gown. Total length of the gown I'm working with is 23, and we're going to start right away. So now we're going to impute our shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement I'm working with is 10 inches divided by 2. We have 5 inches. So I'll mark it right here, 5 inches. And I'd like to come down by 1 inch. And on this paper, we'll be drafting our front and our back pattern together. So I'll mark out our neck width and neck depth. I'll be using 2.5 for both the neck depth and the neck width. I'll mark it here, and then I'll connect it together. Next, I'll be connecting my shoulder slope. Next thing I'll be doing, I'll be marking out my chest line. Okay, so I'll be using my shoulder measurement for that. So I'm going to mark 5 inches down. I like to mark it across both for the front and the back, like so. I'll go ahead and mark my shoulder measurement at the back, and I'll also mark my shoulder slope. Or for my neck width, I'm going to mark 2.5, and I'm going to come down by 1 inch neck depth for the back. I would like to connect this point. Okay, and on this chest line, I would like to bring down my shoulder measurement here so that I'll be able to curve out my armhole. So I'm going to connect this line like so from the shoulder slope down to the chest line. I'll connect same for the back, like so. So next I'll be dividing these points to get the midpoint. I'll go in by half an inch. I would like to connect it like so. I will do the same thing here by 2 and go in by quarter of an inch. I like to measure the round chest divided by 4. I would like to mark it here, and I'll also do same for the back, and I'll connect my armhole. Okay, after doing that, because what we are making is an A-line gown, I would like to measure the same thing we have here to the hemline, and I'll be adding 1.5 to it. That is the fullness I would like to have. Okay, so this is the actual chest measurement that I'm marking, and afterwards I'll go ahead and add 1.5 to that measurement so that we can be able to connect it. Okay, so I'm going to connect it to this point. This is how much fullness I want to add to this gown, and connect to the back as. So mate, here is our pattern pieces, and here is the sleeve we'll be using for this gown. And to recreate this beautiful gown, here's a fabric we'll be using this beautiful lace fabric, and we'll be using this silk material to line it, and we'll be using this tool for the sleeve. Our pattern pieces. Here's for the front pattern. I've cut the lining, and I've also cut the fabric just the same way I cut out the lining. Can you see? And I've added my allowances, 0.5 allowance and 1 inch allowance per side. Here's our sleeve pattern. I'll be using the 2 nets to do the ruffles on it, and here is the back pattern as well. I've cut the lining and I've cut out the main fabric. Can you see? Quick one, I'll be joining most of this off camera. I apologize for that, but I'll explain everything. So the first thing I did was to join the neckline. As you can see, it looks as if the gown is ready. So the first thing I did was to, join the neck and then sew it, iron it, and then join the two sides together. And next thing I did was to fix my zipper. Yes, I fixed my zipper, and then we'll join the hemline. Yeah, so I'm trying to show you here that you have to weave this side, this part of the garment you're looking at now. You have to weave your two sides, both the lining and the main fabric, before we'll be able to measure out our take out our measurement and then join the both side. Is important. So I've gone ahead. You can see how flat the neckline is laying. I have already ironed it and is laying this flat. So yours should be this. You must be getting something as neat as this. Now look at the hemline. The lining, I reduced 1 inch from the lining so that when we sew, it goes in. So you can see how this inside of this gown is laying. Now this gown is already ready. Yes, I've actually attached the side, iron it before I attach the sleeve. And what I did differently in the sleeve is to sew the nets that I showed you. I cut my nets into 2 inches to be able to get this fullness. It's not something difficult, so you can get as you can make yours to be much fuller than this or less depending on the much fabric that you have. I hope you all have enjoyed this this video. I'm trying and struggling to make it short and straight to the point. You can see how is looking. Is actually beautiful. The video is not making justice to this. This gown is beautifully neatly finished. Emphasis on neat finishing. Please take it step by step. Each one you sew, make sure you iron. Thank you so much for joining me. If you have watched this video up until now, I really appreciate you, and I can't wait to see you in my next video. Thank you so much.